Let me say who is present. What are you excited for to build during this StackNet Basecamp? What build ideas do you have, you guys? Drop them in the chat. What are you looking forward to learn? I can see we have Brian, David, Kimani, Lynette, Ulandi, Stanley, Tabitha. We have Zach. What are you guys so excited to learn and to build for the StackNet Basecamp? Oh, I was not managing to access the chats. Now I can see them. Oh, a functional payment platform. That's nice. Kimani Steve, what is that? Learning StackNet beta. That's amazing. A Dex aggregator. That's really nice. You guys have good ideas out here. That's so interesting. I'm sure you're going to gather all the knowledge that you need to build all that and to know, not even to build, like to make sure like your application is fully. Oh, agribusiness app. No, I get it. That's really cool. Nice. You guys have good ideas, literally good ideas. So once again, I want to welcome you to StackNet Basecamp 2, and my name is Joanne, and I'll be your host for the day. So I'm sure you're all like, for new beginners, they are kind of not sure what StackNet is or what HERDAO is. Don't worry, I got you. A laughter factory. Interesting, Cecilia. So, don't worry, I got you. You're going to learn what StackNet is and what HERDAO is. So, if you're new here, HERDAO is a community that empowers women and non-binary individuals in Web3 and blockchain. But now it's kind of inclusive even for the male gender. So you're all welcome, don't run away. So it's all about giving builders the support and the visibility and the tools they need to learn and lead in the Web3 spaces. So you're in the right place, okay? So what about StackNet? So StackNet is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, and it is built using a powerful technology called ZKs, Zero Knowledge Proofs. It allows developers to build fast, low-cost, secure blockchain apps without putting too much load into the Ethereum ecosystem itself, okay? So that's all about StackNet and HERDAO ecosystem. So I would love to welcome IJ. She'll walk us through the schedule for the Basecamp 2, what we'll need from all of you, and how does success look like in this phase. Okay? I hope that's all clear. And if you have any question, drop it in the chat there. We want to see those questions coming off like for about anything. Welcome, IJ.
Thank you so much. Hi everybody. My name is IJ. I am a HERDAO steward, partnership steward, and in February we ran the first dev camp, StackNet dev camp, where we did like a whole rundown on introduction to StackNet in Cairo, and we did Stack links, open source contributions on StackNet. So this time around we are like turning things up. We don't want to bore you with the whole intro to Cairo, intro to StackNet. We believe we have a community where people have like awesome projects, and StackNet needs to see that. So what we're doing for this Basecamp is we are moving those projects from your GitHub to the market. So if you already have an existing product that is built on StackNet, but you haven't had the opportunity to like get funding, So this is your launchpad. So far we'll be like hosting sessions. Today we are doing Ideation by Christine. So it's more like we want to give you ideas on how you can think of a product past a to-do project. So it's more like when you are looking into building a product, you should be looking at the bigger picture. So after this ideation, we'll be doing team formations, where if you don't have a project, we'll be teaming you guys amongst each other with different skill sets. And then on the 8th, we'll be doing a 12-hour night, whole nights of code, where we'll be like having you in one place and ideate those products and just make sure by the end of the morning or the end of the period, you have like a fully fledged product that is ready to launch in the market. So why are we doing this? We want like we'll be giving you tips on how to like get your first pre-seed on StackNet, because StackNet, and also like there's like if you need extra funding, there's also a channel we can channel you in that direction. And yeah, so basically while you leave this meeting or while you like join us in this journey, come with that project that is in your GitHub because you are assured it will launch to market. Thank you so much, and I'll take this opportunity to give it back to Joanne, who will introduce our speaker for the night.
Okay, thank you, IJ, for all that. I want to emphasize on the team registration and sorting. So we are going to be dropping a form in a few. Anne-Marie, can you please help us to drop that form here, where you're going to fill the necessary details. If you have a team, make sure that one person on the team fills in for all the other team members. And if you don't have, make sure you fill the team and include your project, your idea that you might have in mind, your skill sets, and your GitHub repo and your Telegram handle, because you're gonna need that for team formation. Yeah, and for other, you may be like, why are we like asking you guys to join on the team? So one of the main reason is because no one builds alone, right? You build in teams, you build in group and to just grow. And it will help you to like bring other skills that maybe in your team might not have that you might need to take your project to another level. So make sure you fill that form. We are going to be reminding you guys after every few minutes to fill the form. So that's it. So today we are going to have a very amazing speaker that will help you to spark your creativity as you start to think about what you're building or what you can update on your existing project. I'm excited to introduce to you our next speaker, Christine Okoth. Welcome. Christine is a blockchain developer, active building in Web3 space, and she brings on hands-on experience with smart contracts and sustainable tools and decentralized platform. So welcome. She's going to guide us on how to explore good project ideas and shape them to something buildable and to get started quickly in our project and also to just clean up our project ideas and how our project look like. So Christine, welcome. The stage is all yours.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. You can just wave or like have a thumbs up emoji so that I know we're all on the same page. My name is Christine. That was a really lovely introduction. Thank you so much. I'm a smart contract developer and I'm also a teacher, and I love talking about things that I learn, especially when they were a little challenging to learn. So I am glad I'm here to take you through ideation. I can't seem to share my screen. Could someone share the slides? Okay, I can share them now. Cool. Okay, so I'm here to take you through ideation in general, and we're going to have two parts in our discussion today, building for Web3, and we're also going to look at ideating on StackNet. So before I begin, I'm just going to start by asking, is there anyone in the audience today that has no idea what Web3 is or what blockchain is? Is there anyone who's a beginner? Thumbs up emoji, or raise your hand or unmute to speak. No? Great. That's actually great. So that means all of us know what Web3 is, and all of us understand why we're here. I had set up like some 5 minutes to explain what Web3 is, but I'm glad we understand that. But what you consider when building for Web3 are like the core values of Web3, which is decentralization. And essentially, when you're building, you have to look at whether your application needs or requires these specific values in them. I'm a firm believer of anything can be built on chain. Like if you want to build, you can put anything on chain. But I also always ask the question, does it really belong on chain? Because there's some few things that I believe personally don't have to be put on chain. But you can, if you wanted to, you can build anything. We can build the entire everything that is based on the Web2 internet, you can put it on chain. But I always ask, does it belong on chain? So this is how you kind of consider whether your application belongs on chain. Do you want it decentralized? So if you're building something like a financial platform, that is where decentralization always comes around, because you don't want your money in a specific centralized platform or on a specific bank. You want to have it accessible to you at any time. Ownership. You're the one who owns your data. You're the one who owns your money. You're the one who owns any transaction that you make on chain. And the opportunity you have on building on chain is you can build public goods, you can build new economic models. I know we have several financial platforms, several DeFi solutions in the African market. We have several refi solutions on the market. But you can always come up with something that no one else has solved and try and solve it, or find a solution that looks at these problems in a different way. So what problems actually need blockchain? So of course, like I've mentioned, finance, and that is why we have blockchain in the first place. It came to try and solve the financial problem of having money owned by very few people. So the blockchain came to just decentralize that and make everyone have access to the same pool of funds. So only decentralize what needs to be trustless. There's things that you kind of need trust. I usually say things that have data that is very sensitive. I'm thinking health records, although I know there's a few health record solutions, but there's a way you can make health record solutions that don't infringe on data and on data and privacy, but there's a way, but only decentralize anything that needs to be trustless. Do not just decentralize everything. Goes back around to the statement. You can build anything on chain, but not everything belongs on chain. So the great fits we have are DeFi, we have verifiable credentials, you can have decentralized identity, ownership, so NFTs, meme coins, things like those. We have DAOs and organizations. Oh, and by the way, if I say anything that's too big or anything that's too complicated, just raise your hand or type in the message section so I can answer you so I don't lose you as we go. Okay. So bad fates, of course, don't just add blockchain because okay, I'll go on. So yeah, bad fates, we're talking about projects that you don't just add blockchain because we've said we want to add blockchain. Adam has raised their hand. Adam? Okay. We have transparent finance, verifiable credentials, ownership, DAOs, we have refis, we have sustainability project. I have personally built a platform whose entire goal was to track the emissions on chain. So you can build anything that requires any of the core principles that we've mentioned on the blockchain. And then what questions should you ask yourself before you start building? This is before you've started writing the code for your idea, before you have your project. What are you supposed to be asking yourself? So what problem are you solving? Is it a problem that needs solving? Is it a problem that I have? So, because sometimes you can start creating a solution and then you have to find the problem later when you're asked what's your problem statement. So first, it's easier to start with a problem statement so that you know what you're building towards. Okay? Who are your users and would they care? Would they care and why should they care? So as soon as you figure out what problem are you solving, who is facing this problem? Who's the person who is going to see this application and consider it useful to them? And why do they find it useful? Why should they care? So for instance, I'm going to give an example of one of my favorite projects on chain right now. I think I stopped sharing. Yeah, so I was like, so why should your users care about your project? I wanted to give an example of one of my favorite projects on chain right now, Project Mocha. And their users are definitely the farmers who are trying to get their coffee, who are trying to get value for their coffee. And their users are also the coffee consumers who are trying to get good coffee and who are trying to get the coffee markets running. And you see, both sets of users see value in the project and how it is built up. Both sets of users understand why they need to care about the project. So while you're building out your project, say you're building a wallet, who is this wallet for? Does this user not have access to other similar wallets? And if they do, what does your wallet do different? So those are some of the things you need to consider. Does it have to be on chain? This one is 50-50 for me because again, you can build anything on chain, but does it have to be on chain? Is it easier for you to do it off chain? Why does it have to be on chain? And what value does implementing blockchain give to your project? And then what is the economic or incentive model? How are you making money? How is this going to bring back your money? Because one of the reasons you're building is so that you're able to make it's so that it's a business for you. It's able to make you money. And in the case where you send this over to VCs or you want to get grant money, for how long will this grant money take you until you need to start making your own money? Or would you have to be getting grants all through? Is it a sustainable model? And then you also have to consider, of course, which chain you're building on and why. And every chain has its own.
Christine, sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry,
Someone,
yeah.
can you please reshare your screen?
Oh yeah, it says, okay, it works now. It said the host and disabled host sharing. Is it back? We're back?
Yes, we are back now.
Okay. So I've gone through what problem are you solving? Who are your users? Does the problem need to be on chain? And how do you make money? And of course, which chain are you building on? Every chain has its own unique proposition that it gives. Every chain has its own value that it gives. So the chain you pick, of course, determines the technology that you're using. For instance, if you're on StackNet, you have ZK proof on your side. You have zero knowledge proofing on your side. So what chain are you using, and is it the right chain for the product that you're trying to solve? So the ideation framework, so this is just essentially a repetition of what we've had there. So what is the problem? Then after you've gotten the problem, think about the user. Or something I didn't mention about the user is, how is the user going to use your application? So say, for instance, you have a problem you have the right problem. You've seen that the user does need this solution and it is going to help them. You've also verified that they do, if the user does have an alternative to your solution, it does not do things the way yours does, or this is the only solution that this user has at this moment. You still have to think about how will the user use your platform? How easy would it be for that user to use your platform? So if you're building a blockchain product and your target audience is, say, crypto, people who are already trading on crypto or the blockchain community, you can add, there's features you can add that you're 100% sure these people have interacted with and they know how to interact with. But if you're building for, say, I always like to say, if you're building for your grandma back at home, how easy would it be for your grandma to, for example, integrate a new wallet, to have to download, say, a new wallet and use it? How easy would it be for them to now get that money if they were to get it into their M-Pesa or to use it to go buy vegetables back in the market? How easy would that be for you? So think about the user experience. As you think about your user, think about whether they need the solution. And if they do need the solution, how easy would it be for them to use your solution? That kind of informs your architecture, your systematic architecture, and what tools you end up using, because you don't want to have to tell your grandma, for example, to take a 24-word passkey and store it somewhere that they can't be stolen. And then now after they have that passkey, now they also need another passkey to enable them to sign a transaction. All those very good for safety measures. I would understand why, but your grandma would have trouble even tracking the number of wallets they'd have created by the time they're done, right? So think about that user flow. Think about how that user is going to get from point A to point B. And then think about why Web3, why blockchain, what makes it, what does blockchain add to your idea that makes it different, that makes it stand out? And then which chain are you using? So the building blocks of Web3, so Web3 applications look very similar, at least on the front-end side, very similar to Web2 applications. If you've already built Web2, you need a front-end, and sometimes you just need a front-end and a database. Other times you might need a front-end and a back-end and a database. However way you structure it, that's your normal Web2 structure. On the Web3 side, you have your front-end, of course, written in React, in whatever. The front-end is written in just the normal Web2 language frameworks. And then the backend, depending on the chain you're on, it can be on chain itself. The backend can be on chain, or the backend could be a normal API, and you use other services to connect to your smart contract. The backend normally will connect to a database. So sometimes you'll also need a database. Again, depends on the chain. There's some chains where storage is done on chain. There's other chains where you need your own database to do storage. And then, of course, the smart contracts. On StackNet, we use Cairo, but there's also the other languages out there, Solidity, Move, Algorand, all of those. And depending on what you're building, you will need your wallets because you need to make transactions. So MetaMask, Argent, and Cairo. And then lastly, whichever tooling or infrastructure you might need. So depending on what you're building. Any questions so far?
Yeah, I think we have a question in the DM where Peace kinda asked, she wanted clarification on what you said about putting healthy records on the blockchain. Is it bad or good? Something in that manner.
Okay. So in my opinion, if you can guarantee what is it called? If you can guarantee confidentiality with your healthcare records, then it's good. But the whole point of blockchain, at least in my opinion, this is just my opinion, by the way, guys. At least in my opinion, is it's transparent. So everyone would have this data available to them if they were to call your smart contract. And would you want your data, your healthcare records available to anyone? So it adds a layer of a hard layer on top. Like you have to also guarantee that no one else has access to all the healthcare records you have in this smart contract that you're storing them in. So yeah, that's it's just a 50-50 chance. Like if you can guarantee that your smart contract that is storing healthcare records, no one else has access to those healthcare records, then good. If not, then bad. That's how I look at it. Any other questions on ideation?
Can I add something?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think we have stuff like ZK proof where you can like hide some sensitive data like that. So maybe look into like how ZK proof works, because we have like some ZK proof applications that are built on top of StackNet. Maybe you can check them out. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Yes, Priscilla.
Hello, thank you for the session. I've never used StackNet before. So my question is there a recommended platform or site where someone can get, because I've heard that you say that you use Cairo for
Yes,
StackNet. So like, yeah, from a beginner, like a starter resource for StackNet, so that you'll be able to like learn the basics so that you can build on it.
So let me share the docs. I'm not done with the session yet. That was just the first half of my session, but let me share a link to the documentation. I think that's a good starting point. Documentation, just read what StackNet has from the quick start all the way to deploying. I know we'll have later sessions where you'll also be taken through that step by step between today and the 8th. So don't worry about that. And yeah, let me also plug Cindy Kamau's YouTube. She also has a YouTube where she explains how StackNet works, and you can check it out. Let me see if I'll look for it as we go through the session, and then I'll share it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, we also have like recordings for the last basecamp since we were doing like beginner friendly. So we'll also like share that on Telegram. I hope you're on Telegram. We'll share such stuff. We'll put the link to the YouTube there. We have a whole playlist for like everything. Yeah.
Okay, and so let's talk about StackNet. So that was just an introduction to what to consider when you're building on chain. So
we have like 2 more questions in the chat.
Okay, yeah. Let me see.
Over class. Gonna online.
Let's say, okay, let's say I was building a wallet which incorporates all chains. How can you join StackNet to my wallet? Can I pass this question to someone else? How would you incorporate StackNet to your wallet if you're building a wallet that's incorporating all the chains? John?
Yeah, we will be covering that on the Wednesday session. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then is StackNet a layer 1? Or StackNet is a layer 1 blockchain. It's a layer 2, sorry. It's a layer 2 on the Ethereum virtual machine. Yeah, it's a layer 2. Stanley, you raised your hand.
As in, I was trying to ask, will I build another smart contract if I want to join my wallet to StackNet? Or how will I join StackNet? That's my question.
I think I can answer that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes.
So what happens is the way accounts are built in StackNet are a bit different from, let's say, the normal Ethereum, like the way we have the MetaMask and the EVM accounts. So native all the native wallets of StackNet implement something we call account abstraction, right? Which that means in simplified terms, it's that you're programming it. So all wallets are essentially smart contracts. So let's say you're building a wallet and you want to like, integrate or like you want to create our StackNet wallet, you'll have to create like a smart contract. It's called like an account contract for StackNet. So that's what you're going to do essentially. If I don't know if I've answered your question, you'll have to write like a smart contract on Cairo and you implement it. They're called account contracts in StackNet. So I think we can also share resources because there's like a template for how you design a wallet in StackNet if you want to build your own. Yeah.
Has that answered your question, Stanley? Okay. So let's move on to ideating on StackNet. What does StackNet offer? So like I mentioned, do you guys only deal with Ethereum-based chains? This specific basecamp is specifically for building on StackNet. Maybe they can tell you if maybe John, you could tell us if there's going to be other other sessions for other chains.
So far this basecamp is for StackNet that is under Ethereum. So for now, yes. Yes.
Okay. More questions? Yeah, okay. So ideating on StackNet, one of the consideration we'd given for what you should consider while you're building is the chain. So you're supposed to look at what the chain offers, and here's what StackNet offers you. It offers ZK rollup on top of the Ethereum virtual machine technology. So ZK rollup essentially has, and correct me if I'm wrong here, has like abstracted ZK zero knowledge proofing and zero knowledge capabilities so that you don't need to necessarily implement ZK in order to use it on StackNet. It's already set up for you. It has high scalability and very low fees compared to building directly on Ethereum. And then we have Cairo, which is specifically created for the StackNet network. So it's Rust-based and it's a lot simpler. I don't know if it's a lot simpler than writing Rust. Is it simpler than writing plain Rust? Can anyone answer me there? But it is specifically formulated for the StackNet network, which makes it really easy to integrate. And it has a great developer ecosystem. I mean, here we are teaching you this. What can you build on StackNet? We could build DeFi protocols, so wallets, or exchanges, DEXs. You could build credit systems built on zero knowledge proofing. Of course, that allows you to, the user doesn't have to, okay. So you can build credit system built on top of ZK, meaning it's very user-friendly on the user experience side, but also ensures security, extra security for the user and their data. Yeah, okay, yeah, right, Rust is easier. Wait, writing Rust is easier than writing Cairo. That's Wada's opinion. Is that true?
I mean, what we could say is it mostly depends on what you want to build. Like Cairo is a general purpose language, so just like Rust. So it got the inspiration from Rust. So if you know Rust, it would be actually easier to adapt to Cairo. All you have to just understand is the way the storage for StackNet works, etc. So that when you get things like how we write strings on Rust, for example, now when it comes to Cairo, it's byte array. It's not exactly like a string. So things like that. But when it now comes to smart contracts, actually, my own opinion, I do believe that in the beginning, it might look like it's a bit difficult, but once you just understand the templates and the way that you formulate your smart contracts on Cairo, it's easier. But still, if you want to like build a program outside of StackNet, you can still use Cairo as a general purpose language for writing any other application that you want. So yeah, it's actually easier. So once you know, it's not a must to actually know Rust. But when it comes to all the smart contracts, once you just understand how the template and how you formulate your smart contracts and what to use, and we call them attributes, right? It's actually easier because you're just reading and writing to the storage on StackNet. So once you understand how storage works on StackNet, it's easier to even implement the smart contracts. Yeah.
Thank you. So ideas are not limited to what I have here. You can build, again, you can build whatever you want on chain. If you have the capability to, you can build whatever you want. So we have DeFi protocols. You can look at refi solutions. I saw someone talk about agribusiness. You can find a way to tokenize anything, any plant. You can look at carbon or impact tracking tools. So what is the impact of, say, this chain? What is the impact on this chain on the environment or stuff like that? You can look at sustainable yield strategies. Again, these are just things I'm throwing at you to like jog your mind, but you can build, again, anything you want for as long as you can justify. You have a target market, you have a user base, and that they're going to find your tool, your project, your tool, your application useful. So those are my pointers on what you can build. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's it. So any questions so far? I didn't go too deep on StackNet development because I know it's going to be handled elsewhere. And I'm also learning, I'm also part of the bootcamp. So I'm also learning the Cairo network and how to write on it. So any questions so far on ideation? You can even ask us to try and verify your project ideas if you have any, if you've already come up with one, and we could talk you through it. Or if you haven't come up with one, do you want help thinking that through? Just raise your hand or unmute yourself to speak.
I think I'll just put it out there. Like now, StackNet is focusing on payment platforms. So if you have a payment platform that really drives the TVL means total value locked. What does that mean? Is like it's like too much transactions happening at the same time. They're looking for like really advanced fintech products. So if your product is fintech, you at an advantage. And then you're also looking into having products that have merged with Bitcoin. So if you're thinking into doing something with StackNet and Bitcoin, we're also looking for you. And all the other products are like welcome. Yeah.
So MTO Dev is asking, how can I change fiat currency to StackNet and vice versa? And what would be the gas fees among other toolings available?
The gas fees are relatively lower, actually. It's relatively, yeah. I think it's almost playing around the way we have like the gas fees for when you're using like Base or yeah. So the gas fees are relatively lower. I can say that they are very it's expensive. Actually, it's very cheap to use when you're moving money, your tokens around StackNet, and also when you want to change your fiat currency to StackNet, you can actually check the wallets like the Bravos wallet and the Argent wallet. Those are the two main wallets that we normally use in StackNet. So Bravos and Argent. So with Bravos, what I know is when you're changing fiat to StackNet, you'll have to use like your credit card, or if you have like, let's say Google or yeah, I think it was Google Pay or Apple Pay. So you can just use your card to directly buy the crypto. So you can buy the Stack tokens essentially. So yeah, so when you want to like directly change your fiat to StackNet, you can buy crypto. Also, you can also use Binance. So Binance, what the coins which are Binance has integrated the Stack token for the network also. So you can also go and get it from there. But mostly we just use the mainstream wallets, so Bravos and Argent. So yeah, they've integrated the direct transfer, but you have to use a card.
Weda is asking why not use M-Pesa to do so. Weda, StackNet is not just in Kenya. It's a it's a network that's used everywhere. So you can create a wallet that integrates M-Pesa so that it's easier for users to use. But yeah, right now it's the two wallets, Argent and Bravo, and you can also check it out on Binance.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking that can also be like an idea. Yes,
that's
and
also
also
an idea.
Ekubuko. That's actually an idea that you can, provided there's like utility, if it's something that is needed, like you want people to directly interact with the Stack tokens and the stablecoin CTC and on the StackNet network, even BTC, Bitcoin in itself. So yeah, you can actually create a platform like that. So you can create that payment pipeline. So we can be able to buy or ramp directly to our M-Pesa. Yeah, there's actually you can check out this product. It's called Pretium. It's not. I don't think they've integrated the StackNet network yet, but that's what they actually do. So you can pay for utilities using your crypto, and then they ramp it directly to the merchants. Let's say if you're in the supermarket, etc., and you want to buy something, you can just use your crypto, and then on their end, it will just come as the normal fiat currency. But if it's actually an idea that you can implement and you can build it out. Yeah.
Yeah. You could also, I think I could also plug Swipe.io, although I'm also not sure if they have StackNet integrated into their system, but they also do the same thing. Weda said they wanted to just build a simple savings or a trading platform. Weda, do you want to take us through your idea and tell us how that's going, where you're at right now? And MTO.dev says, any projects that you have that we can check out? Yes, Weda, it's just an idea, but could you try and take us through your idea? Let us try and ideate with you. Let's use yours as an example. Okay. Okay, so anyone with an idea, I joined their team, or someone is looking for teammates. John mentioned they're going to share a link for teammates to be created. Has that been shared yet? And then this also goes to the organizers. How much time is there for the builders? So I know the program runs from 4th to 8th. Is that all the time the builders have to build?
Ideally, that was how like the project's supposed to run. IJ, can you like tell them in more into detail on the time that we have for the builders?
Sure. They have like the whole month of August. Like if you haven't done anything yet, you can do it so the whole month. So we'll be offering support on Telegram. We also have StackNet members who are on Telegram already. We'll like be helping, and Cindy will also be there. So in case you have any questions, your project to StackNet, that is also possible. Yes. Okay, we're going to share that on chat, Stanley. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
And yeah, just to like tell you again, so the seed fund is $25,000, and for growth is between $25 to $1 million. So yeah, let's start building, let's start shipping. Thank you so much, Christine.
Okay, thank you so much, Christine, for that, please, for that talk, taking us through on how we can those ideas on our project. That was really amazing. So, and thank you guys for asking questions. If you have any, still bring them in the chats. We are looking into them and answering you as clearly way possible. So for those who joined when the session was continuing, we had submitted a form where you are filling it to join a team, where you're filling it so that we can know where exactly you are and so that we can group into a team. And if you have project ideas, ongoing project, if you have projects, yeah, so that you can fill it. And it has already been shared there again. Kindly fill. And for the ones that have already filled, kindly also fill your GitHub repo. Even though you don't have any project, we can use that one, that repo too, as we are grouping you together. Yeah, and don't forget to fill in your Telegram handle. Any more questions that you have, you guys?
Just an addition, when they come into Telegram, they will see like a StackNet chat channel created. Every communication will be done through there henceforth.
Oh, and also Cindy has kind of posted something that for those who are in Kenya, there will be a StackNet workshop. You can join them on this Saturday, the ones that are in Kenya. They'll be going through Kairos smart contracts, and it's a very nice opportunity for anyone out there. Okay.
Steve is asking if they can migrate a project they'd already built on another platform to StackNet. Yes, you can.
Yeah, that is so much possible. Can I invite Cindy to explain you on how you can do that? Cindy Kamau.
Yeah. Actually, you can. So if you have like an existing project, you can migrate it to StackNet. What you'll have to do is, for example, if you are, let's say, building a project and it was on EVM, so already your smart contracts are in Solidity, or let's say any other network, any other chain that you've built on, you'll have to like rewrite your smart contract now to Cairo so that it will be suitable for StackNet's network. Yeah, so that I think that will be the main migration point that you will have to do. So you'll have to like rewrite manually. There's not like automatic conversion or something. You'll have to like rewrite your smart contract logic now to use Pyro. Yeah, so that it can be able to be integrated to StackNet's network. Yeah, so and also now, when it now comes to the front end, since in the front end you'll use either Web3 JS or Ethers JS. Now, when it comes to StackNet, you now have to plug in StackNet JS. Yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, and also before I forget, also now the RPC endpoints, right? So you'll have to now also connect the StackNet nodes using the RPC endpoints for StackNet. Those are my major things you'll have to do so that you can be able to successfully migrate your existing project to StackNet. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, Cindy. I can see she's raising her hand. Can you go ahead, Peace?
Hi, good evening. So I wanted to ask, right? On the form, I'm seeing a particular question that asks me to have a project. So I want to know if having a project idea, you can tick yes, not that you have the project. Like you don't have a project, but you have a project idea. Will I ticking yes or no? That question.
Okay, so you have an idea, but you don't have a project, right?
Yes.
So I think you can just feel like, no, you don't have a project, but you have an idea. Oh, I think you can feel yes, and you feel the project, then you can try and see who we can group up with you to help you build up your project. Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, do you have any other questions? So I think we can, okay, Priscilla, go ahead.
Someone mentioned this is the second boot camp. Is it the second boot camp?
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
question is. So
Pardon?
my question is, are there is how I wanted like to get an idea of the previous projects that made it to the top, and like what were they all DeFi, or yeah, example of the projects that made it to the top in the first boot camp.
So the first boot camp was mainly focused on like introduction to StackNet and introducing people to Cairo. I would love to welcome IJ to help you to understand of what happened more on that boot camp. Yeah, but we can still share the Notion page on the chats so that you can go through it and understand what happened. IJ?
Hello, I think for the first bootcamp, we were basically focused on like plugging people with their right skill set, helping them to like, if you just have like Solidity skills or you can code, it was more beginner friendly-ish. So, but we still had people building projects. And right now, Priscilla, I have mentioned, we're looking for
Hello.
payment products.
Hi,
So
baby.
if you have a payment product, we would want to have that there. Yeah. So if it's something DeFi, that is very much welcome. That is what you're looking for.
Okay,
Hi.
is that
Hi.
clear?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
Stanley. Pardon?
I have a question.
Okay.
You're saying you are preferring DeFi projects. How safe are the projects? Let's say someone builds a project, then at the long run decides to do a rug pull. How safe is it in StackNet?
Wait, could you
Or should I?
repeat the question? Could you maybe repeat the
I'm
question again?
saying, let's say I build a DeFi, then I try to do a rug pull. My question is, how safe is StackNet from things like rug pull? Or rug pull, for those who don't know, rug pull is like building a DeFi. Then after getting finance from the people, you decide to go away with the money, like to hack the money.
So you're asking if there's protocol-based security systems to stop people from rug pulling? Is that the question?
Yes, yes,
Stanley.
yes.
Okay, interesting. So I don't know. I think that's mostly a moral thing. If you decide to create a DeFi platform and your goal is to rug pull, then okay, why would you do that in the first place? I don't know. You want to build a DeFi platform and then rug pull people, or is the question if you interact with a DeFi platform and then that DeFi platform rug pulls people?
Yeah, I think when I think about it, mostly I think it depends on whoever's built the project, right? Because I mean, like any other chain, if you decide to like maybe write some malicious code on your smart contract logic or something, and maybe you decide to like put things like honeycomb. It's called honeycomb. Is it honeycombing or is it what's called honey something? There's that all those malicious activities you can be able to like put in your smart contracts. Essentially, you can be able to like pull. I don't think there's like a very specific protocol level sort of security that can be, can like is designed to like catch these things. That's why there's auditing. So what happens is when you're building like a DeFi product, that's why you're required to like do a lot of licensing, and also for people to have like for people to have confidence in your DeFi product. That's why people do auditing and all these things, so that if you've written any malicious code, etc., it can be able to be like sniffed out. But otherwise, I don't think there's like any sort of specific security that is on the protocol level. If you decide to like write malicious code, you can like pull people. Yeah. So that's why on now the legal side of things, when you have licensing, etc. By the way, when you like put a DeFi or any finance application, for it to be hosted even on App Store and Google Play Store, you still have to register it, and so that in case anything happens, they can be able to track it down back to you. So that's how they are able to sort of sort of control these things. Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with the answer.
Okay, thank you for that, Cindy. And does anyone has any other question? Okay, so we have that form, and you're kindly requesting people to fill. I have seen someone ask the project possibility on the form. What does one feel? So you're kind of feeling like what project idea that you have on the form. So that to help us to group you with other team members. Yeah, okay. Does anyone has any other question? Okay, Karen, Anne-Marie, please resend the form again. And for peace, yeah, it will be a physical one. Right, Cindy?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a physical one. Actually, there was another code jam which happened in Nigeria, but it was sometime back around the 26th of July. So for this one is now on this region of Kenya. So unfortunately, it's physical. Not unless when I get to the venue and we can be able to sort of stream it. Then it might be able to get people online to be able to join, but I'm not entirely sure about that. So I think we'll be in communication with the HERDAO team. So if on my end I'm able to stream it so that you can be able to join it as a Google Meet link, then well and good. Yeah.
Hey, thank you for that clarification, Cindy. Any other question? Okay. I hope you all enjoyed the session. And please, that I want to clarify this, that anyone that in this call, please fill the form so that it can help us grouping us into teams if you don't have one, which will be easier for us. Okay? Amazing.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I think people still need clarity. So if we have people who have built projects on Solidity, for them to shift to StackNet, they need to write it in Cairo, right? The contracts, right?
Pardon, I didn't get you.
If people are shifting from another chain to StackNet, they need to like write their smart contracts in Cairo first, yeah?
Yeah, you need to write your smart contract in Cairo.
Great, good. I hope that's clear for everyone now because I'm getting DMs on that. So we just need to like clarify. Your smart contracts need to be in written in Cairo.
I hope that's all clear, right? That your smart contract should be built in Cairo. So I would love to encourage all of us, the one that are building and the one that have built, like you build in public and tag us along on all socials that you're tagging your project on. Let us see those tweets, those posts, and we'll engage with them. Is that clear? So if you don't have groups, we will group you through the Telegram. We'll create teams for you to join, and you will be able to access your team member from the Telegram if that will be okay with you.
So for the teams, we'll have at least one Cairo developer who will like be helping with smart contracts, and all the rest can have like any other background. So if you're good in front end, if you're good in project management, we encourage you to like just fill up the form because if you're good in front end, because like so many developers don't like front end. So if you know you're good in front end, we are also looking for you. We'll pair you with a team that doesn't have that skill set. So while you're filling the form, please be more specific so that we can get you the right teammates. And we'll be building for the rest of the month. And we will be offloading you to a global hackathon, which is like conducted by StackNet. And through that global hackathon is where you'll get like bounties and also pre-seeds. Yes. And also like if you have a product and you don't know how to get it to market, fourth to eight is like a short period of time, but we'll StackNet is also doing like a global founder basecamp where you can join in. I think it's usually every Thursday. It takes 2 hours where you can join in and like just understand what's happening. So the people who will graduate from this dev camp, you'll have a spoke. The spoke it gives you access to the StackNet startup houses, and also StackNet usually offers like travel scholarships to individuals, and your accommodation is fully catered for through the stay at the startup house. So if you're building with us, we want to build with people who are building on the long term, and we're here to support you beyond 8th August. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sure it's more clear to everyone that you should not get to be building a project. It has a good advantage and will take you through a long time. Okay, so do you have any other question, or do you have anything that you want clarification on? Anyone? Okay. Okay, so IJ, can you kindly clarify on the global founder? Someone is kindly asking about it.
Okay, so StackNet is also hosting like a founder base camp where let me just it's if you have joined our Telegram, you can be able to see that, but I'll still paste it here. So it's more like they have intro to blockchain fundamentals, and then they help developers with the skill set, and it's also a good opportunity to like think beyond just having a GitHub project. So it's more like go-to market strategies. They take you through your idea. So there's idea validation also, and yeah. So I'll just there's also pitch. There's also like a demo day for that. There's customer discovery and persona building. There's go-to-market strategy. There's pitch teaser and story structure. So the founder base camp is centered around just how to like now launch in the market. And they also have like a pre-seed for $25,000. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and share that link again. But if you're on our Telegram, you should be able to see it. I'll just on pinned messages, but I'll just share it on chat here. That one. So they'll be doing this through the rest of the month. They'll be done on 2nd September, where people will be doing demos. It is kicking off tomorrow. Yeah, kicking off tomorrow.
Amazing. Thank you for that, IJ. I hope now it's more clear to you, Victorious. Okay. So let's meet here. So yeah, that's amazing. Does anyone else have any question burning or anything else they need clarification? Okay, so someone is asking, how is it different from this camp?
Oh, this one
It's
is different because we'll be having an on-site session where we'll be like ideating, and by the time we are done with the 12 hours, we'll have like a fully fledged product. And also how is this different is because for the project that we will be spotlighting, they will be getting like a keen focus from the StackNet Foundation, and you wouldn't need to like go the long route of applying like the other people. So yes, so that would be more like spotlighting these certain projects from Kenya or from Africa and giving them more visibility to the StackNet Foundation. Yes.
Yeah, and to add more information about this founder base camp, so what's happening is we have this one is specifically led by StackNet Foundation in itself. So there are two types of base camps. So there's the founder base camp whereby they'll be focusing more on ideally projects if you have ideas, if you have an MVP, and or just you come with that idea, and then during those 5 weeks they help you from building your idea and how you're going to, create a pitch for VCs and etc. So this one is more, it's led by StackNet Foundation in itself. So it's running concurrently with this Basecamp here that is that we've organized as HERDAO. So the HERDAO Basecamp is more focused on Africa, Kenyan projects, African projects in general. So if you can actually do both. So I think applications are still open. So if you have an idea, you can still you can still attend this Basecamp by HERDAO and still attend the Basecamp by StackNet Foundation. And also, if you're more interested in the developer side of things, there's also the developer Basecamp. It's still starting this month, and it's still being run by StackNet Foundation. So there are three activities essentially which are running at the same period. This one is more of a HERDAO initiative, and the Basecamp is more of StackNet Foundation initiative. So if you can be able to, you can attend both of them. Yeah.
amazing. Thank you for that, Cindy. I hope it was more clear on the one who was asking for the difference. I hope now you have a clear difference on how it's different from our dev camp. So I think that's it. If I'm not leaving out for anyone else. Does anyone else has a question or anything else? Okay, I think we can call it a night. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who showed up and shared and started forming teams. So grateful that you came here. Thank you for our speaker. Thank you for Cindy and everyone else who helped answering questions. Thank you. We'll be following up with more updates and supports and workshop. So stay more active on the Telegram. And the best way to make most of this base camp is to stay engaged and collaborate and ask for help when you need it. Just ask. Don't be afraid. Ask for help. Stay engaged with everyone in our handles, in our Telegram. Ask question, ask for clarification. That's all that will help you to get most of it from this base camp. Okay, so looking forward to see you in our other sessions. And I can't wait to see what you guys are going to build, of what you've built, the projects and your ideas coming to real life. So let's build something incredible on StackNet together. Thank you for joining our today's session. Have a beautiful night, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.